Hi guys. So I'm going to do a special Valentine's Day twin flame reading, soulmate, divine partner, whatever you want to call it. Whatever's comfortable for you, I guess, that you call it. And because, excuse me, because the new moon eclipse, which is the partial solar eclipse in Aquarius on the 15th, is so close to Valentine's Day, what we're going to do is look at the energies of what the divine masculine and the divine feminine each need to eclipse from their life, to remove from their life. What are the energies they need to remove? And then we'll look into what the energies are that will be coming in for them. So first I want to look, because the divine masculine kind of had a rough week this week, the 5th to the 11th. So let's see what the divine masculine, what energies the divine masculine has to eclipse out with this, for this Valentine's Day. And it's so funny because I always thought Valentine's Day was kind of like a hoax, you know. It's like a made-up holiday. Why just tell people that you love them on one day? But it really is a very nice reminder to not only tell the person that you're in love with, but just everybody around you, your family, your friends, all of them, you know, a special day to give a little gift and tell them that you love them. So for the divine masculine, the energy that needs to go is manifest, which is the magician. So that's really interesting, because a lot of times people look at this, the magician card, as something really, really good, and it can be. You know, maybe the energy that needs to be let go of with the divine masculine is trying to make things happen, because often we can't make things happen. It's almost like they're trying to manipulate the situation a little bit more instead of just letting divine timing take over. So maybe this is perfect, because with the energies that the masculine had for the 5th through the 11th, it was tough. Like, being up in their head, it's like they really had to humbly come to a conclusion that things are not always going to go as they want them to. Things will not always be so super easy, right? And there's the divine feminine that, you know, they were coming into their own. So this, for this Valentine's Day, for this eclipse season, let's look at it where, sorry, I got to scoot up a little bit. The divine masculine really needs to let go of trying to make this happen. Now, we've talked about how everybody has the divine masculine and the divine feminine within us. We all have the propensity to take on, we shift roles all the time. It just depends on where you are in your journey. There's a lot of times that we have to connect with both parts of us. So if you are a biological female, you could possibly be resonating with the divine masculine energies right now. This could also be where the divine masculine is like trying to take control, you know, because the divine feminine is really trying to come into control, into their own power. So this may be the divine masculine, like this may be, yeah, we need to go from manifesting to the page. I remember in December when I did the energies for January, the twin flame energies for January, and the divine masculine came out as the Page of Pentacles, where they feel like they don't have much to offer. And dare I say, maybe they need to be kicked down off of their pedestal a little bit. And the divine feminine probably should not be the one that's kicking them. I kind of feel like this is an ego thing. And I'm not beating up on the masculine. In all honesty, I feel like I'm saying the same thing to myself. 9 of Wands. So this, again, is the energy that needs to be taken out. Feeling like a page. Feeling like you're caged in as the Knight of Wands. I keep rhyming like Dr. Seuss. I'm not entirely sure why I'm doing that, so I apologize. Gonna drink some tea. My throat is a bit sore from talking so much. Oh, go figure. So we need to pull the energies out of trying to force things to happen. Maybe being knocked down to a page and letting things happen from a much smaller level. The 9 of Wands, being caged, the 9 of Pentacles. 2 9s is coming to the end of a cycle. So, pulling out the energy that you have to be alone. The masculine has to be alone in building their life. There we go. 5 of Wands. King of Pentacles. 2 of Cups. The bottom of the deck is the Star. This is a much better reading than last week, you guys. Yay. So, I'm really feeling like, okay, so the masculine is still very rooted in the 3D and trying to like build that life and trying to, you know, be this stable figure. You know, instead of being a page, they want to be a king. They want to be able to offer something. They want to be able to offer the 9 of Pentacles and not just one. But what I really want to say to the masculine is, you know, when you have the 9 of Pentacles and you add that 1, it makes 10. So maybe start off small. It doesn't have to be so big. And it's like, you feel like if you're only offering 1 pentacle, you're going to be trapped. You're going to be caged. It's like you don't have enough. So I feel like what the fight is with the divine masculine is wanting to build this stable life for love, for this relationship, for to manifest this relationship into existence. And if you are with your twin flame already, or you are in contact with your twin flame and just maybe not in the physical, or just not physically together, but are in contact, I feel like there is this fight, this constant fight of needing to be good enough for the feminine, when in reality, you already are. What a concept, right? So there's this thing within the masculine right now that really needs to heal. So he knows that you're already good enough for the divine feminine. She already sees you in a very beautiful way. And intuitively, you know that. The High Priestess. And this may come to a shock to you. Ace of Wands. I feel like this is an opportunity for you right now to pull out the energy of thinking that you are not good enough, because you keep trying to work very, very hard to prove yourself. That's what this manifestation is. Trying to prove yourself, trying to prove that you are worthy of this person, of this feminine, whoever it may be. And 5 of Pentacles, and then the 6 of Pentacles, and then Judgment is on the bottom of the deck. I really feel like I need to tell you to stop, to take the energy out of trying to force this up and up, is really what I want to say. Like, that's the first thing that came, that, you know, the feeling that I got was that you just need to keep trying to move up. You know, that's a very 3D way of thinking. You don't have to be perfect. And I feel like that's what you're trying to do, or that's what the masculine is trying to do, to woo the feminine. And if you're not in contact, if you are separated from your twin flame right now, and it feels like this is not energetically happening, this is really something that the masculine has to release. That if they're energetically not feeling good enough about themselves, because ultimately it is all about unconditional love. And I feel like by the eclipse, this Very interesting that the moon card is here. This will become very clear that this is the clearing that the masculine has to do. And if it doesn't feel like that right now, if you're feminine and you're watching and it doesn't feel like your masculine is clearing this, they truly, within their higher selves, within their world, they just don't feel good enough for anything or anybody right now. And a lot of it is because the feminine, with everything that's going on, if you look in the media and you look and see how women are coming out and they're speaking up their minds, men are getting beat down, you know? And there are a lot of really good men out there that have not done anything wrong, but they're still getting beat down. There is this stigma now against men. And yes, for a very, very, very long time, women have not been able to speak their mind and be in their power, so it's a very good thing that that's happening. But when humanity does this kind of shift, it's like that teeter-totter. If it's not strong enough on one end, it's going to drop. When one end goes up and it's not strong enough or heavy enough on the other end, or it's too heavy, it's going to drop. So the balancing act is what we're talking about here, where the masculine really needs to start to heal from the fact that they're not good enough, because they are working on it. And the feminine are driving this right now. They're driving that forward, which is needed. It's needed to happen, but unfortunately, because we're not all full of love and light, some of it's being done in a very angry way. So let's just remember to send love and light to the masculine, because they have a very big clearing to do. And I really, really like this reading for them. I really like this reading for you guys, because it's so needed for you to understand that you're already good enough for your feminine. You know, you do have healing to do. You do have work to do, but you don't have to prove yourself. You know, you just have to love and heal. And that's all the feminine is asking of you, is to love and heal. Because ultimately that is what the purpose is, right? Is to love ourselves unconditionally and then heal. And that is exactly what the masculine is doing. Trying to get to their king status, they're trying to prove themselves a little too much. So that's the energy that is being eclipsed out of the masculine, right? Masculine energy. So let's see the energy that's coming in. This is, looks like it might be a pretty long reading. Let's put that in the middle so it doesn't show up again. So let's see what energy after the masculine eclipses out, trying to feel good enough or to prove themselves. What is the energy that's coming in for them? I'm trying not to look at the cards, so I don't know what they are. Yeah, embrace. This is the World card in the traditional tarot. Number 21. Number 21 of the major arcana. So that's a big deal. It's a big week. So the energy for the divine masculine that is coming in after you release trying to prove yourself, because you don't have to do that. You just have to unconditionally love who you are and heal. And once that happens, you can end this cycle and start a new beginning, right? First card that came out was the Knight of Cups. So that healing moment brings in love. That healing time in the masculine's life brings in love. Ends the cycle of making them think that they're just not good enough. Which is beautiful. Like, how wonderful is that? And then the Six of Wands, which is victory. And recognition. And it's amazing. It's like, I feel like the divine masculine will almost say, I didn't, you know, I tried so hard, I tried so hard, I tried so hard to be recognized and to have this, you know, to prove myself, and I just wasn't being recognized for any of it. Well, that's because it was being done in the wrong way. You don't have to prove yourself. You've already, you know. And so then the eclipse brings in, we have the moon and then the Queen of Cups. So then the eclipse brings in the feminine. And I kind of feel like this is the divine masculine getting in touch with their feminine side after they flip the switch. You know? We eclipse out all of that trauma and that pain of not feeling good enough, of not being good enough, of not doing good enough. And then Ace of Pentacles. And then it brings in a very emotional and loving feminine, either the version of you, masculine, or your counterpart. Then the eclipse can bring in the feminine and stability. And the universe can offer you the Ace of Pentacles, which is a very large, stable offering. And this is when your cycle begins. After, you know, but you have to let go of all of that, you know, that we just talked about. You have to let go of thinking that you're not good enough, that you're stuck, that you're not moving forward. Because the divine masculine have been moving forward, whether the feminine thinks so or not sometimes, because we can get awfully mouthy, can't we, feminine? Just ask. We can do it. But Eight of Pentacles. So once you release all of that, and then we get the Wheel of Fortune. And we all know, I love having, the Wheel of Fortune, and then the Lovers. Oh, you guys, and then the Fool. Need I say more? I mean, wow, right? Like, I don't even think I need to pull anything else. And we have the Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So coming in pretty hot and heavy here. You know? Like charging in, rushing in. So the masculine releases all of that self-doubt and begins to heal from why that self-doubt was there. And that's what the eclipse is going to pull out. And then you can move forward with embracing this new, positive new beginning. And this movement forward and this recognition that the divine feminine really does see you as somebody very stable. And, I mean, you guys had such a terrible reading last week. That's amazing. I love it. Totally love it. The change, the Wheel of Fortune and the World is that karmic change, that karmic lesson that you learn. And just having that faith to be able to jump off the cliff. Not knowing what's in front of you, but doing it anyways. And this is what the solar eclipse will bring in, the partial solar eclipse in Aquarius for the divine masculine. Okay, I don't even want to like move the cards because I love it, but we're going to look at the feminine now and see how we're doing. Hopefully the reading's just as good. I'm really glad to see that. Because, man, you guys, the masculine had it rough. So let's look into the feminine and see what are the divine feminine energies that we have to release. Ooh, whoa, that one wanted to come out. Yeah. So with the eclipse, we are releasing control. Releasing control. Yes, my lovely feminines. We are releasing control and trying. I have a feeling this is going to be a very interesting reading. We need to let the divine masculine come into their own. So, next week, releasing control of what we think that this is supposed to be. Giving it to the universe. You know, not making it a big deal. And knowing, oh, my lovely the script has flipped. So we are releasing the tower energy. We're letting it go. Let the tower fall. Ace of Cups. So, to me, this is the feeling of the feminine needing to let go of how they think this needs to go. This process needs to go. Strength and the Four of Pentacles. Letting go of how we think that this process has to go and just letting it be. Letting the tower fall. Letting the emotions flow. Being strong enough to do it. Not holding on to things too tightly. Well, and then we get to, we have a 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles. So with the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands, this is like the ending of that cycle, you know, of having to carry this burden of, you know, do I need to keep this on stable ground? How do I keep this relationship stable? Or how do I keep this energetically stable? You know, it's kind of like in the same way that the masculine feels like they have to prove themselves. Like we have, you know, while the masculine's trying to prove themselves, we're trying to control all of it. Sorry, my hair's driving me crazy. And then we feel put out. 5 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords, the Fool. So the energy that we really need to release is thinking that if we let go a little bit, we're going to be put out and we're going to be all stuck up in our head about it. We need to let go of being stuck up in our head about this because we cannot control the process. I just wanted that to sit for a minute. We cannot control the process. We have to have faith that even if it's going slow, Knight of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, and there's the Moon again. We have to release 5 of Cups. We have to release thinking that this will be devastation if we let go of control. We have to release thinking that we have to work so hard to keep things stable and grounded. We need to give that up. And at the eclipse, that will happen. So we also need to release thinking that all is lost. 9 of Swords. If we let go of control, we have to release thinking that all is lost and that we will be devastated because there are 3 cycle ending cards here. 10 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords. There is definitely a cycle ending. And we do not have to be overburdened about keeping this energetically or physically stable. We have to let that go. And once we let that go, let's see what energies come in for the feminine. That was a much shorter reading than the masculine one. Because the masculine has been trying to prove themselves to us, right? And we don't need that. We don't want that. We don't want to be... Here, let's put that in the middle because I had a feeling it was on top again. We don't want them to prove themselves to us. We want them to know that they don't have to do that. But at the same time, we cannot control how stable the relationship is, how stable the energetic relationship is. We need to give it to the universe, not be up in our head about it, not feel overburdened about it. And once we release all of that, what comes in? What is this eclipse going to bring in? I'm a little feeling alone. This is the Five of Pentacles. Feeling alone. That's a little rough. My heart actually sank. So if we give up control of all of this, do we still think that we're going to be alone? I don't think so. Let's see what other cards come out, because the feeling that I'm getting with that is that I kind of feel like somebody out there is really fighting against releasing control of their union, of being in union. They don't want to give it to the universe. Being emotional. Okay, this is starting to make a little bit more sense. The Seven of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. So as the masculine, it's almost like if we let go, if the feminine lets go of control, they are fearing that they will be alone. And that energy we need to walk away from that. And we need to start growing the seeds. We need to go from the Five of Pentacles to the Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Cups. So releasing expectations of how things are supposed to be, walking away from those negative feelings of feeling like that we are by ourselves in this, because we're not. Going from the Five of Pentacles of feeling alone up to the Seven of Pentacles of growing those seeds. Because this week, the 5th to the 11th was a really big week for the feminine. And after having such a powerfully charged week, energetically and emotionally, and really kind of empowering themselves, there is a tendency to backtrack a little bit from that. Especially if it feels like we don't have control over something after feeling like we do. So the Two of Swords. Don't be in denial that you have things in your past that you still have to look at. Six of Cups and the Sun. So the energy that's coming in after we release control, the energy that's coming in is actually really good energy. Not being in denial anymore. We have the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. Intuitively knowing that even if you feel alone, you're not, and you're walking away from that feeling. Eight of Cups. The Queen of Cups is very intuitive. And I feel like the Divine Feminine is really coming into their intuition a lot lately. I mean, they even showed up in the we even showed up in the masculine reading, right? So, using that intuition, using that mastery, the Magician. I mean, this is a couple right here. The High Priestess and the Magician, they work together to get shit done, to make things happen. The High Priestess knows everything, and the Magician makes it happen, right? And then we have the Hermit. Might feel a little guarded against that masculine King of Pentacles. Yeah. But we also have the Queen of Pentacles here too. So Not only are the feminine using their intuition, they're coming back into their nurturing and grounded, stable energy. Instead of flying so high, you know, we came into our power, we found our intuition, we know what the cycle is now. And now, not only can we be in the 5D, I'm looking at this as if we're in the 5D and we're in the 3D. Not only are we in our intuition and our higher selves, we're also very grounded. So, clearing out all of that negative energy. Six of Swords, walking away from that. Seeing that there are still some things in the past that have to be cleared, but this connection is still very, very strong. And the masculine will no longer be proving his worth, just living his worth, right? And there's a huge difference with that. Because once we start to unconditionally love ourselves and see who we truly are and see what our worth truly is, then we can live it. And it doesn't just have to be proven, right? So let's remember that not all is lost. You know, don't bring this energy into fruition completely, because you might feel a little bit alone when the masculine pulls back and they're like, I can't prove myself anymore. I need to love myself more. And then we can make things happen, and we can look at things differently, like the Hermit, and we can see things very clearly. And with the Sun, we can watch all of our seeds grow, and then we can see the masculine as the king, and that they are offering themselves fully in a very grounded state, right? Very interesting energies, feminine. Very, very interesting energies. I like it, though, because I kind of think that after this really big energetic week, now we know what we need to clear out of our lives with this eclipse, and I really, really like that. So, okay. If you would like a personal reading from me, check out the InstantGo app. That link is below. I've also added to my website $10 email readings. If you cannot download the InstantGo app, if you don't have an iPhone, you can do a $10 email reading. My link for my website is also below. It's fearlessintuition.net. You can email me, but I will send you directly to my website, and it will take longer for you to get your reading if you email me first. So if you just go directly to my website, fearlessintuition.net, all of my reading services are on there. Including a twin flame soulmate, 2 different options for a twin flame soulmate. And we can look in the energies of the twin flame soulmate union that you are in or energetically feeling, and then how to move through the energies and work with the energies within that union. I love you guys. Happy Valentine's Day. And I will see you for for the first week in February's reading. Oh, I guess it'll be the last week in February is what I meant to say. The last week in February for the twin flame reading. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye.